Okay, this session is percent of a number. So at the top of your page, you're going to write percent of a number. And this is the last part of Unit 5, and this is indicator 20. I have no idea. There's like 32 indicators. I forget how many units. You need to have a notebook or something, but I told you to get it out a while ago. Shh, you need to get some paper or something. Everybody needs a binder. So this is the beginning of a new semester. Get a binder. I'm going to send an email to your parents. Paper, somebody give him some paper. Okay, there's one. Okay. So there are two methods. I'm going to show you two methods, but on the exit ticket, we're going to use the fraction method. And the reason I want you to do the fraction method is that we're going to do something called simplify before you multiply. And that's a concept that you need to know going out of sixth grade. So that's a concept going out of sixth grade that you need to know. So I know you may have some other kind of fancy way that you might want to try, but let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so the first method is the one, this is, so the first one is you're going to convert, let me get this straight here. So we're going to convert the percent to a fraction. And then multiply. So that's very important. The first step we're going to do is convert. So we're going to convert the percent to a fraction and then multiply. So that's one method. The second method is convert the percent to decimal. Then multiply. Now, let's not act like we don't know how to do this. We just did this. The whole last video we just did. The whole last lesson we just did. We converted from percent to decimal to fraction, correct? So now we're using what we just learned to calculate the percent of a number. But we're using what we just learned first, and then we are applying it. So we're going to do it first with just numbers, and then we're going to do some life applications. Where do you use this in real life? Every time you go to the grocery store or the store, you need to know how to calculate the percent of a number. Why do I say that? Yes.
Because you have to you have to see how much something costs altogether.
Because what do they add to it? Tax, sales tax. There you go. So where do you use this in life? Sales tax. Stocks, yes. So there's a lot of ways that you need to know. Percent is something you really do need to know in life. Interest on your bank account. So you need to know how to calculate percent. Um, so you will use this in real life. So first example, uh, example 1. And we're going to do both ways. Let's see. What is 20% of 50? So what is 20% of 50? So we're going to do the fraction method. I'm going to call it the fraction method. I should have used my line paper so I wouldn't be all over the place. So my fraction method, I convert 20%. Ooh, that looks crazy. To a fraction first. To a fraction. And then multiply by 50. So that's what I'm going to do. Am I going too fast? Okay. I felt like I was going, I felt too fast. So let me stop.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you we simplify the fraction?
Yes, you're going to simplify it.
How do we multiply a whole number by a
That's what we're going to do. We already did that earlier in the year. Remember when we keep change flip? All this stuff builds up on this. But I'm going to show you another little technique this time when we multiply fractions. We're going to simplify before we multiply. I'm going to show you that. Okay? So we're going to write this down. I see a few people still writing. I put my webcam on. Oh, no, it's got you in it. Well, I can't put my students in my videos. Okay, so I'm going to convert 20% to a fraction. So that's on our wheel. So convert that. I have to put it over 100, right? Isn't that what your wheel says? And then I have to simplify. You said divide top and bottom by 20? Yeah. That one's easy, so I don't have to do my ladder method. 20 divided by 20 is 1. 100 divided by 20 is 5. So that's my new fraction. Change color here. And I'm going to go ahead and multiply it by 50. Now 50 is a whole number. I'm going to put it over 1 right quick. I'm going to teach you a method called simplify before you multiply. This is one skill you need. Don't you throw that paper. You can get up and put it in the garbage can, but you better not throw it across my room. But see, when I looked up, I'm recording, right? So when I looked up, you were about to throw it. So it doesn't need to go in the garbage? Okay. Do you need to get up and give it to someone? Yeah. Okay, then let's do that. Okay, so when you simplify before you multiply, if something in the numerator and the denominator are divisible by each other, you can go ahead and divide that out. So 50 divided by 5 is what? 10. So another one, look at 5. 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 50 10 times. So I can do 50 divided by 5 and put that 10 right there. Yes? Okay, but we're going to go over it again. Because y'all did the same thing about dividing fractions and then didn't do well on the test. So we're not going to assume everybody remembers. Because last year was virtual, so we're not going to assume that everybody remembers last year. So 1 times 10 is 10. So 20% of 50 is 10. And now the other method is to convert to a decimal. We're just going to call it the decimal method. Okay, so we're going to convert 20% to a decimal by moving the decimal 2 places to the left. So 20% becomes 0.20 because my decimal is here, and then I go 1, 2. So now I'm going to multiply 50 times 0.20.
I need to line up the decimal.
Huh?
To line up the decimal.
What?
To line up the decimal.
No, you don't. Not with multiplication. With multiplication, you don't have to line up the decimal. And actually, remember when we did the decimals before, we left it off when we multiplied.
Oh yeah, and then we saved it until the end.
And we saved it until the end.
I moved it.
Uh-huh.
To the.
Yeah. So we have 2 places here behind the decimal, so we can go ahead and multiply first. 0, 0. We're through with that. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Let's add those together.
Oh, I see.
And then we got our 2 places here. And so we still get 10. Now, one of my students said, she said, do I need that 0 behind there? You don't. So you could have said 50 times 0.2 instead of 0.20. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10.
This
One place.
Faster.
You get the same thing. But I want you to focus on the fraction method because for the next problems we have to work in the other 2 sections, you got to know how to cross multiply. So I want you to get your mind on that.
I'm like, what happened to it? Hold up.
This way seems faster because you're familiar with how to multiply decimals. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Shh. Don't talk while I'm waiting on people to finish writing. Okay, so the next one, let's find 30% of 90. So the fraction method, we're going to convert this to a fraction, a simplified fraction. 30 over 100 simplifies to 3/10 because both of these are divisible by 10. Just drop a 0. Did I confuse anybody? Please turn around and watch the board. Put your phones up. Are you writing notes? So you're not taking notes? Huh? Where's your notes? Dax.
They're on the ground.
Dax, where are your notes?
Oh, magical.
Well, come on, I need you to write notes. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply this by 90.
Over 91.
90, yeah. And then 90 divided by 10 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. That's simplify before you multiply. decimal method. We're going to convert 30% to a decimal. And actually, it could just be 0.3. I can drop that 0. And then I can multiply 90 times. So I move my decimal 2 places to the left. I just kind of rushed through that. 2 places to the left like this, right? And that gave me 0.30. And since there's a 0 that's behind the decimal, I can drop it. So now I'm going to multiply 90 times 0.3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 9 is 27. And I have one number behind the decimal point. So it's 27. So I get the same thing. Guys in the back, calm it down, pay attention. All right, so let's, yes? Sure. Okay. Pass these out for me. Now the sheet that we're passing out, we're going to do this part. Do I need to go back to the other one? I'm recording. I'm recording. Is everybody through writing off for this one? Okay, I'm gonna deal with the cross multiplication tomorrow, and you'll see why I taught the fraction method. Today, we're gonna do this top part, finding the percent of a number. We'll deal with the missing, find the other. We'll deal with the rest of it tomorrow. So what I want you to do right now is write your name on that sheet. Go ahead and write your name on it. It's also on Schoology. But I want you to write your name on it because you know what's going to happen tomorrow. I left it at home. I lost it in my backpack. It's in my auntie car. So I want you to leave it at school so that we'll have it when we get ready to do the other part of the lesson. Okay? Okay, so the first one, what is 34% of 500? So the first thing we have to do is what? Convert 34 to a fraction. And to convert it to 34% to a fraction, we have to put 34 over 100. And then to simplify it, we have to divide the top and bottom by 2. And that gives me 17 over 50. Okay, 34 divided by 2 is 17. 100 divided by 2 is 50. And that's going to be times 500 over 1. And 500 divided by 50 is, 500 divided by 50 is 10. I'm recording. Please don't eat in my classroom, especially if you're going to make those noises. Okay, I'm recording. Okay, 500 divided by 50 is 10, and then 17 times 10, that just means add a 0 at the end of 17. This one, 5 divided by 5 is 1, and then I get rid of one of my zeros. When you're dealing with zeros, what is it, too small? What is, am I going too fast?
No.
Mm-hmm.
There's number two, like a second.
Okay, if you want to go ahead and work ahead, you can. Okay. And then what is 40% of 20? I should have done this in a different color. Let me do this. So I'm going to convert 40 to a fraction. So simplify that fraction. Come on, Jake, simplify 40 over 100. Yes.
4/10.
Okay, 4/10. Thank you, Dax. Are we one and done there, y'all? Can we simplify that further?
Yes.
What can we? 2 divided by 2 again, so it'll be. Okay, thank you. That's very good, Dax. Very good, baby. Your name just went out of my head. But I just said it. Okay, so now we're going to multiply this by 20. And then 20 divided by 5 is 4. Is that confusing y'all? Okay, and then what do we do now? You see what you got left? You're multiplying. Right, 2 times 4. Kelsey, your name, Lord, your name just slipped my mind there for a second. Okay, 2 times 4 is 8. Yeah, I see why I tell y'all don't use calculators that much so your mind won't go bad. Is this confusing you all?
It's like 5 out of 10%.
So what is it that's confusing you?
No, because I did it already. Oh, it's already seen all that. What is 7 times 8?
Okay, so let me do this again. So we have,
What is 7 times 8?
hold on. We simplified this to 2/5, and then we took 2/5 and we multiplied it times 20. Is that what confusing you? Hold on. Is that part is confusing? So we're multiplying the fraction. We're finding the percent by multiplying it by a fraction. Please sit down, young man. Okay. Now we're simplifying before we, yes. What?
When we're simplifying, like I did it where you just simplify by 20. Can we do that, or we have to do 2 steps?
No. Why would you have to do 2 steps? Okay. You trying to ask me something crazy on video. You're not going to make me say something crazy on video.
Yes, we're going to embarrass.
So basically, you got the 20 in the numerator and the 5 in the denominator. Just imagine if that 2 weren't there, Just imagine if it was like this. You could switch these around. Just don't write this down. But imagine if you had 20 over 5 times 2 over 1. You can do that. Mathematically, you can do that because multiplication is commutative. Remember we learned the commutative property? You can move that around. So 20 divided by 5 isn't that 4? So that would be 4 times 2, which is 8. So you can do the same thing here. And that would give you 8. So 44% of 50. Let's do this. So step 1, you're going to convert 44 to a simplified fraction, 44% to a simplified fraction. So let's convert 44% to a simplified fraction. Let's do that first. So what are you going to do? Put 44 over 100. So let's do that. Come on, Jake, let's do that.
What is 7 times 8?
56. So when you simplified that, what did you get? Who? Can you simplify that further?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Okay, then once you get that simplified fraction, you're going to multiply it by 50. And you said you got 11 over 25? Okay, and then you took that 11 over 25, and we're going to multiply it by 50. And 50 divided by 25 is 2. 11 times 2 is 22. Right? Let's go ahead and do number 4. Y'all got that?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if we can do number 4. So first you got to convert 75% to a simplified fraction. What'd you get for your fraction? Huh? 75 over 100. What'd you get for your simplified fraction? What goes into 75 and 100?
75.
Huh?
I'll be 5.
Okay, so 5 goes into 75.
And then you.
So 5 goes into 75 how many times? 15, and it goes into 100 how many times?
Oh,
Can we take that a little further? Yes.
yeah.
What goes into both of those? 5.
5.
So 5 goes into 15 how many times? And 5 goes into 20? 4 times. So now we're going to multiply that 3/4 times 80. Eighty divided by 4. I heard somebody say the answer. 60. 80 divided by 4 is 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 80 divided by 4 is 20. And then 3 times 20 is 60. Okay, so I think y'all can handle this exit ticket.
Exit ticket.
Yeah, yes. That I keep erasing.
Bring the missing part. Your soul's looking for the missing hole.
So you're going to turn this in on a sheet of paper and show all your work. And this and the other thing might end up being your only grades. Use the fraction method. So when I say show all work, I don't mean just number it and write an answer down. I want to see what you did. I want to see the conversion. So find 10% of 140. Find oh, that looks crooked. Can y'all read that? So we got to find 10% of 140, of 140. Find 25% of 360. Find 40% of 50, and then 36% of 50.